The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, UNU Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
No! I'm going down to Alphabet Street. I'm gonna crown this girl that I meet. I'm gonna talk. Channel switched.
Good evening, everybody. It is once again Tuesday night. It's January 29th, 2019. And it's time for your favorite F words. Yes, my favorite F words are obviously family, friends, and I've got one of my good friends on right now, Bradley Majors. How you doing?
Real good, Kathy. Thanks for having me on again. Hello, everyone.
So I just, like I said, I figure if I get to talk to you every day, everybody should get to hear from you every week. And I need everybody to know I'm, as well as Brad, in beautiful, sultry, just amazing Minnesota, where it is right now. The temperature is, it's negative 20, and it's continuing to drop. The wind chill, I can hear the wind out there. The wind chill is supposed to be...
My house is popping.
Yeah,
so
it's supposed to... It's supposed to be negative 52 with the wind chill. This is so stupid. So the F word right now is frozen, freezing. Imagine, every F word that you can think of goes with this weather that we're having right now. Frustrating. Well, see, F words, 4-letter words, you can think of 4-letter F words too, because that's what I think of. But Brad, you know what, like behind the office, here's something that I was so freaked out by. That, you know, the deer that are always back there?
Yes.
No, they were laying down in the snow, curled up like dogs. I'm nervous for them. And I kept saying, oh my God, we need to bring them inside. And nobody would help me. But there's like little babies.
Where would you put them? In the parking garage?
In Joe's office. He's not going to be here. I'm just like, oh my God. And why don't they? Okay, so I'm genuinely concerned. What happens to them when it's this cold? I swear to God, when I go back to the office tomorrow, I'm going to be beside myself if they're frozen. Can you imagine?
Were they all were they like individually curled up, or were they huddled up into
No, individually. They weren't even laying next to each other for body heat.
I could see that survival technique, but they're deer. They haven't come as far as we have.
But horses do it.
True.
And I have to say this is probably the first time I'm ever going to say this in the 8 years that my last horse has been dead. I'm really glad I don't have a horse right now in this weather. Because, number one, and I apologize everybody, I have a sore throat. I don't know why. Probably because it's 52 below zero. But, seriously, the chores. Having to go outside, making sure that they have water, making sure that they have hay and grain, and that they have their little blankies on, and oh my God, I would hate life now if I was having to do horse chores. And so, to my darling friend Donna, I'm thinking about you, because she lives out, not telling everybody where, but she does. She lives by herself. She has chickens and horses, and she has to, you got to feed them. It's not like they can go to the fridge, F word. and get whatever they want. You got to take care of their stupid stuff, man.
I have some friends that live out on a farm, and you're making me think of they have a bunch of animals. They have some sheep and a couple of cows and chickens, and they've already lost half of their chickens. I have to think these 2 days here, or 3 days back to back, pretty much going to wipe out the rest of their chickens.
Oh, they lost their chickens from the cold?
Yeah, or just, regular chicken losing methods. Like,
so, okay, well,
scavengers,
speaking of chicken losing methods, so one of my darling friends, Tammy, who lives in Colorado now, we used to go out to the farm where I kept my horse. We were both laid off, and we did this thing that we called Not Many More Days Like These, where we were out at the farm every day drinking like crazy. I mean, because it was summertime, and we were both laid off from our work, so we had the summer of our lives. But we'd sit on the hay wagon and just like swing our feet and get super drunk and then go, oh, that's right, we were going to go horseback riding. Do you still want to go riding? No, that's okay. Let's just leave them out in the pasture. And then this one time we were walking around, we're going, I wonder where, there's like no chickens walking around. And so we were walking around the farm. Now keep in mind, we're hammered. And we come around the barn and all the chickens were, and they were piled up on top of each other. And for some stupid reason, it made us laugh. We're like, there they are. It was like, it's like, go looking for chickens, and there they are. They're all dead. What? I mean, we have no idea why they were all, but they were all piled up.
Right.
I know, it's crazy. I just
so
like...
I have to ask you, drinking and riding a horse. We didn't really get into this with Tom Foley, but I have to imagine he's done that once or twice. Is that as dangerous as it sounds?
I only fell out. I told you about that when he was on, when I fell off, because it was only... The only time I ever fell off was when I was
you
drinking.
Went all the way over, right?
Yeah, the horse didn't move. I did. I fell off. She stood there and looked down at me even. She's like, really? Really, you just fell off of me? Another time, the only other time, oh, yeah, drinking. I was in Cabo, which I'm craving Cabo right now, by the way. 52 below zero. I was in Cabo the first year I went, and so this was like 15 years ago. And I said, if I do nothing else, I have to go horseback riding on the beach. That was my dream. So me, the one that owned horses, I was probably the drunkest person in Cabo too, by the way. We went out
That's how the locals do.
and they gave me this horse, and I was totally cool going out to the beach because mine was like hanging out in the back, and I'm taking pictures, I'm drinking, and I'm just having a good time. I got my bathing suit on and my cowboy hat, and then we get to the beach and the guide says, you want to run? And I'm like, duh, that's like the intent of this, right? Well, one of the girls from New York, she didn't want to. So he said to my girlfriend and I, so will you two go ahead? I'll hold her horse back because it'll just want to run. Okay. So my friend Amy takes off, and I kick my horse, go, doesn't do anything. I'm like, okay, wait, what? Kick. And I'm like, Ariba. But is it because it's a horse? I don't know I thought they all work the same, right? And then all of a sudden he started moving, and I realized it didn't feel the same. I'm like, wow, it feels a lot different to run in the sand. And then I realized he was bucking me. And then as soon as I realized he was bucking me, that's when I flew off. But I stayed on for a really long time. I'm like, what's going on? And then realized that that horse was a thumbsucker horse that only wanted to follow the guide horse. He didn't want to leave the guide. So the guide felt horrible. And then he let me ride his horse, which was like almost pony-sized because he was so short. So then I got to run. But anyway, everybody, oh my gosh. So freezing. Would you call this good football weather?
No. I know that probably, I'm going to get torn up. I don't know if people text in or email in on the show, but I'm going to get torn up for this. So the football people will be like, this is football weather, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, this is not football weather.
I don't feel it. When it gets really cold, I'll still watch.
Right.
I'm just going to be on my couch.
Oh, well, try raising boys that played football. I never missed games, but sometimes I'd watch them from my car. But no, I'm just going to sit in here. And then I was the mom. Well, I'm going to save that story because speaking of football, I have a surprise guest that I'm going to add. Hold on one second. Let me get him. Everybody, you're going to like this guy.
I'm very excited for this.
Hold on. It's ringing. I'm calling him. He answered. Yo, got you on the air. Hold on one second. Uh-oh. Something happened here. Brad, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, that's weird. I need to add him. Hold on. This is bizarre. Hold on. He just answered.
Hello?
All right. We're going to try this again. Why is everybody failing? I'm still on the air. I'm going to just call Griff. Everybody, hold on one second.
Hello?
What is going on? It keeps failing to call when I get you on there. Are you there?
I am.
All right. Robert Griffith, I'm going to get my other guy right back on here. Let me just see if this works one more time. Everybody, welcome Robert Griffith to the show. Hold on one second, Griff.
I'm here.
Okay, if it blocks everybody off again. Wow. Sorry, everybody. Okay, this is the last chance.
No.
All right, this is the last time I'm doing it. I'm just going to let my other guy know that he can't be on. For some reason, trying to bring you two together keeps failing the calls. We've had this happen before, haven't we? That's so weird. Well, anyway, Griff, you're stuck with just me for right now. How you doing?
I'm doing great. What's happening?
So, well, I'm sitting here doing the show. Welcome to the F word. Here's an F word for you. Frozen. This is ridiculous. So, tell everybody where you were.
I'm looking at that up here. That's like minus 50 with the windshield up there. It's ridiculous.
No, it's not even right. It's not right at all. It's
yeah, it doesn't even sound right.
Hold on one second. So, think about where you were a year ago.
A year ago, I was in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl was there.
Mm-hmm.
And my company was hosting the zip line there. So,
Can you imagine zip line right now?
oh my goodness, I know.
I
I mean, that's crazy, right?
No, that is absolutely crazy. So, what I want to do is, speaking of crazy, talk about your crazy journey in the NFL. So, for those that don't know, Robert Griffith is a former strong safety, really mainly with the Vikings. He played a few seasons with the Cleveland Browns, with the Arizona Cardinals, but the Vikings were the ones he came back to and retired with back. That was '08 already. You've been retired for 11 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just not messing around.
You old now.
Yeah.
But,
not-
here, I wanted to, part of the F word is, just talking about family. Football is, obviously something, finance, focus. But let's go back to Little Griff. Little Griff, what was your favorite sport when you were a little kid?
It was actually basketball, believe it or not. I was a really good basketball player, and but I was just always so small that I just knew that it wasn't going to pay for school, and I was really trying to go to college, and so.
What did you want to do in college? What did you want to be when you grew up?
It kind of switched. I was in high school thinking I wanted to go be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And being a doctor switched to being an engineer in my senior year. And so I was strictly looking at engineering schools, and San Diego State was kind of fell on my lap. It's my home city, and they were one of the best state, not only the best state school, but one of the best schools in the country at the time. I think they're number 2 or 3 now.
Wow.
For the engineering program. Yeah, for the engineering program, and so it just kind of happened for me that way.
Well, that's great. So then, when did you start playing football?
I was, this is 19, I was 8 years old.
Wow.
My first year of football.
So Little League, you played in Little League?
Oh, yeah.
Pee-wee.
Little League all the way through.
Pop Warner.
Till I was 36. I played 29 years straight football.
Wow.
That's crazy. If you think about it like that, never missed a year. Well, I missed seasons, but I was always there. I got hurt. I had appendix. I missed a year in high school, and I missed a couple years coming out.
Wow.
Of college. Yeah. 28 straight years. I never thought about it like that. A long time.
That is. Most marriages don't last that long. And and most careers.
Most, I'd say like 75% of them.
I would say more like 85. They're my friends. But so think about, people don't even have careers that long. Usually, like when you look at our dads, my dad did 38 years in the Army, worked at different companies as well for years and years. But, it's different. So think about, here's what I wanted to find out. So how did you get into the NFL? You wanted to be an engineer. What happened here?
Yeah. So I got in, a lot of people say I was first base.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not second, but first.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a scholarship to go to state. I had a couple of D2 schools like Cal Lutheran and Ithaca and smaller schools that wanted me to play football and basketball. So I decided to walk on at San Diego State. So my first year didn't didn't have, I just walked on, so I didn't have any cash, so I was working I got a job at UPS, believe it or not.
Isn't that crazy?
Break.
That's where Mason works now.
Yeah. So I had a job. So during the Christmas break was like 6 weeks in between semesters, and I worked there, and so I worked there that first Christmas break, and then the next semester I ended up working for a beer distributor, Mesa Distributing. It's this beer company out of San Diego at the time. I'm not sure if they're still in, but I'd get up at 4:30 in the morning.
What? Wow.
Be there, I have to check in at 5, so I, live close, so I'd get up at whatever time, get there at 5, get on the route, so, get off the route about 8:30, 9 o'clock, go right to class, 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Be at practice at 1:30, actually, it was 2 o'clock on the other side.
Are you kidding me?
Go right to practice, get out of practice, right to food. Then I tutored a few athletes. This is my second semester.
Wow. Wait, there's not enough. When did you sleep?
I'm telling you. And from there, did my homework and try to keep on all these engineering classes, and then try to keep a social life or whatever you want to call it.
Right, being a college student.
Repeat. So I did that for a year and change. So I did that my second semester, and then I double dipped. So then the summer I did construction. So I did that my spring semester, and then I got a job doing construction for 6-7 weeks, and that job started at 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, that job started at 12 and 12 to 5. So I was lifting weights at 8:30 at night.
Wow.
So I would go to my beer distributor. I know, this is crazy. Then I would go to my construction job. Then I would eat, and then I would go work out with we call it the night crew.
Mm-hmm.
We go work out, and that's all we did for 10 weeks. But, we got our money up. We were to buy, little beat-up cars, but we saved enough money to buy cars and stuff like that. So that's how we hustled. But anyway, my third semester, I broke my arm.
How'd you do that? In football?
Yeah, playing football at practice. I broke my arm a couple of weeks before our first game. I wasn't on scholarship. And I couldn't work, because I had a broken arm. So, within the spring, the fall semester, and so I wasn't on scholarship. It was a pretty sad time. So I was going to give up football, and my mom said, for me to stick it out one more semester. And so I don't know how she got the money for school that semester, but my mom showed up with some money.
Wow.
Yeah, I think my mom's a saint. She sold some jewelry or something. Showed up with some money. I stuck it out. I wore a brace that fourth semester and earned a scholarship. And so that's when everything kind of changed. I was able to, if I wanted to work, I could work, but I didn't have to work. So I was able to take care of school and be a regular student. And so I went from there, being all conference and, being a pretty good football player. But I was still undersized and kind of playing a kind of hybrid kind of position, linebacker, safety, kind of hybrid, monster back, kind of defensive back kind of guy.
Uh-huh.
And so it was time to go get drafted. Did not get drafted. Ended up going up to Canada. I know we're going back, but we're talking 1993. And so at the time, there was 5 American teams in the Canadian Football League at the time. And through a relationship through my AAU basketball coach, this guy's name was Bill McCullough.
Wow.
I was able to, yes, I was able to get offered a contract for the Sacramento Gold Miners team. And so I went up there, $500 maybe in my, no, not 500, $50 in my pocket.
Wait, 50? Griff, that's scary.
$50. I think maybe $100 if I'm being totally accurate.
Wow. But this was a paid gig though, right? So they paid you to play.
Yeah, so my contract
And they housed you?
Like, this is 1993, so the Canadian wage for a player, like a normal player, was like $40,000, $50,000 for the season. And I think my contract was like $37,500 is my contract, believe it or not, to play football.
Wow.
And yes. And I had an intern at Teledyne Ryan who was going to hire me for $42,500. I was going to make more as an engineer than I was going to make it playing football. I know, it's crazy.
Oh, wow.
And so, anyway, my buddy Zach Stokes, he was a teammate of mine in college. He had taken a job up in Sacramento with Coca-Cola, and he had a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment.
Okay.
And he allowed me to sleep on his couch. So I slept on his couch for a couple, 3 weeks, maybe a month. And so it was me, him, and his fiance, well, his girlfriend at the time, his wife now. And so I was getting up early, getting out of there, just, basically just on their couch, right, their TV.
Wow.
And trying to stay out of the way. Yeah. So I go in to play my first game on a Saturday, and the coach calls me in the office. He says, "Chris, come on in here." And and I hate to tell you, but this is how these things go. But we actually traded you this morning.
What?
This happened. This is my life.
This is my life.
We actually traded you to Saskatchewan this morning. I've been trying to get a hold of you, and you're actually a Saskatchewan Rough Rider now.
Oh.
I said, what? He says, yeah, and oh, by the way, unfortunately, because of the league rules, you can't be in the locker room. You actually have to watch the game from the stands.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, you got to watch the game from the stands. Yeah.
So you're okay.
So, guys' home stadium was Sacramento State University.
Mm.
And, but you got to remember, it's my first home game I'm going to play in. I'm from San Diego.
Mm-mm.
And so now I have all my family, friends, nephews, nieces. I got like 75, maybe 100 people up in the stand.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So I'm hot as fish grease. And
what did you do? Did you go up and sit with them?
So the good thing about it is, thank God I have my mom. My parents were always supportive. So my mom, I promised my mom that I was going to get my degree regardless of what happened with football.
Yeah.
And so when she took care of that semester, I made a big promise to her that I was going to finish it. So I did not have my engineering degree at the time. I had really one full semester.
Mm-hmm.
I had like 18 years left. And so instead of trying to put it in one semester, I went back to school for my 5th year.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Saskatchewan, look, you have my rights. They were the worst team in the conference at the time.
Wow.
And there's only like, I don't know, 4 or 5 games left. I was like, it's like 5 degrees. I said, look, you have my rights, man. I'm going to go get my degree. So I went back to San Diego State. But what I did do to change my whole career was I started working out with Olympians, men and women. The track coach at San Diego State, Ron Sheffield, who's a world-class skiing coach. And, he trained me even in the off-season when I was in college. But I'd never been just solely focused on getting in shape like I was at this time. Mm-hmm. So I had begged all my professors to get back in school. That first semester, it was really tough. But, so I was going to school and working out. And I moved back in with my mom. I worked 3 days at Teleline Ryan, so I still had my job. So I kept all my little plates in the air, right?
Wow.
I could go work for my job if I wanted to. I was going to school, and I was working out. So I just treated it like another year of college. And, but, the discipline in me was I moved back in with my mom. That was probably the hardest thing.
What are you saying? You mean my boys aren't going to want to do that? Come on.
I was 23, 22, going on 23, and I was like, man, look. So, but anyway, I was working out 5 days a week on the track with 800-meter runners, 400-meter runners, sprinters, and doing real track workouts. And so fast forward October to April, I'm giving you this is a real story.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Fast forward to April of that year, 1994, Gary Zellner had just gotten the special teams coordinator job.
I remember
He got my name off the grease board at San Diego State. It was in the weight room. And he was looking to work me out. Anyway, I worked out. He called me up. Look, I was at Long Beach State. I remember you were a great player, blah, blah, blah. I'd love to work you out. And so I ended up working out with him that Friday. Ran really well. I was in great shape. Very excellent shape. And
everybody needs to know that you still are, by the way. So it's showing. I mean, but so Griff, seriously, knowing you all these years that I've known you, I'm seeing why you are the way you are. So go back to your story. Sorry, I just had to interrupt.
No,
it makes a lot of sense.
I was just a young guy. Just knew that I could get some stuff done on the field. I just wanted to prove everybody I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly myself. And then I put in so much work. My goodness. And so, he said, look, the draft's in 3 weeks. I'm going to tell Denny that, I'd love to get you up there to see you, and he's looking to sign some undrafted free agent guys. So, stay alert. So that was Friday. He calls me Saturday. He says, look, we're looking to bring you in the next week or so. Be ready.
Wow.
And I didn't even have an agent at the time, right? I just had my AAU basketball coach, Bill McCullough.
Okay.
And so he calls me back Sunday night, says, look, Denny wants to work you out Tuesday. Can you get on a plane in the morning? I said, yeah. So, just like any other track guy, I went got a 5-pound bag of ice, threw it in my mom's tub, iced my legs down, got on the plane, super excited. Get off the plane, do the dinner with Gary, and just empty, didn't get any rest. And so, go in for the workout, and it's the off-season training program. And
what time of year was that?
This is April.
Okay. So you came to Minnesota.
Right. Yeah, I came to Minnesota
in April.
2nd, 3rd, 4th. Yeah, it's like mid-April, April 10th. So I'm 2 weeks before the draft, and so It's 1994. Go in there. It's the off-season training program, so everybody's there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about everybody. So 1994. So Tony Dungy. So for my workout, it was obviously Denny was the head coach. Tony Dungy was there. Brian Billick was there as offensive coordinator. We had Chip Myers. We had Tyrone Willingham was the running backs coach. We had John Terling was the D-line coach. Jack Del Rio was the starting middle linebacker.
Wow.
Chris Carter, Jake Reed, Randall McDaniel, Johnny Randall, Warren Moon's the starting quarterback. Robert Smith, Scotty Graham. I mean,
just a couple of those names people might know.
Jeff Christie, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the older guys before the 98 team. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so I'm working out with a couple other guys, and I had a good workout. Denny called me over. He said, "Look, showered up. I'd love to talk to you." So I just showered up, go up to his office, and got his jazz playing, and he said, "Look, we want to sign you.
Oh my
but-
gosh.
You got this Canadian contract, right? So I'm not sure what you're going to do with this. You need to handle that. Talk to your agent, get out that Canadian contract, and they'll sign you." So I called my AAU basketball coach, and I'm like, "Man, I don't know how I get out of this Canadian contract, but you need to get me out of this damn contract."
Yeah.
So he makes the call, and he says, "Don't worry about it. Send the contract, have him FedEx the contract, I'll pick you up in the airport, and, don't worry about it." And so I tell Denny's like, "All right, give me your address." So they FedEx me the contract. I get on the plane. Call my mom. We're crying.
Oh, I believe that's
Yeah, I'm just like, "Look, Mom, I got a chance. That's all we have, right?"
right.
So I get back. Bill picks me up, and he's like, "Bill, so what's up?" He says, "Well, what you didn't know is that I reached out to a good friend of mine, a colleague of mine, who's an attorney. His guy's name is David Morway. David Morway was the guy that got you the Canadian job up in Sacramento, because Tom Bass was the defensive coordinator there, personnel guy. He was with the Chargers, so he had just got the job up there, and because he's with the Chargers, he saw you at San Diego State a lot. He knew what kind of kid you were, so you got that job. But David Morway, one of his really, really good friends, is the general manager over at Saskatchewan, and so they were trading you there, take care of you and make them, you're going to be the defensive captain and all this, blah, blah, blah. So, said, if you have a chance to play in the NFL, no big deal. We'll keep your rights in Canada. Good luck, and, hopefully you make it. So, it was really all about the relationships that allowed me to free myself up to go to the Vikings, just to go to training camp and done that deal. Yeah. I got all this after the fact. I didn't know all this that happened, but oh man, it's amazing how you backtrack a story after 20 years. Like it's just amazing how I got some stories in my workout, like that I don't want to name names, but there's some people in the personnel department over at the Vikings, and I'm laughing because they know who they are.
I know too, because I've heard this. This is
called me a reject, and that when I showed up for the workout, they pleaded with Denny that I was a reject, and that what am I doing? Like, why are you working this kid out? This kid, blah blah blah. So I just stand here laughing because it's always about the opportunity. You can never really determine useful in the zoo until the opportunities presented. So,
well, and Griff, I
But,
mean,
yeah.
look at that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like, you worked hard. You still work hard to this day. And listening to you talk about that gives me even more understanding of how tenacious you are. And, you
So-
know, putting your faith
Yeah.
in yourself, right? So major F word is faith. I mean, you have to have faith in yourself that you're going to be able to do what you're focusing on, and you totally did it.
well, one thing that I love my parents,
Yeah.
both my mom and my dad. I
They
had
did.
an opportunity to see both my parents get up and actually go to work every day. Like I had, I
Mhm.
saw my dad get up, get his coffee and be out the door at 6:30, every morning.
Work
I mean, I'm
ethic.
talking about out the door. Yeah,
Mhm.
like no messing around. And my dad was the kind of guy, he would get up at 5:30, make sure he read his paper, drank his coffee, ate breakfast. So he was in the car rolling out. 6:30 he was rolling out late. 6:15 he was rolling out with a second cup of coffee, whistling. That's just my dad, right?
I
So
like
saw
him.
that.
Yes, I can see him
well, I
still
saw
doing that. Yep.
Well, when you see that growing up as a kid, that there's a work ethic that's always
Mhm.
instilled, and so I got it. But I always tell kids, when I say kids, I tell the young people of our country all the time. I said, look, if you're willing to put in the work, you don't have to worry about anything else, because if you're willing to put in the work and you're diligent, you're going to get somewhere. You just got to stay on it. So I got that stubbornness from my mom. My mom is really stubborn about accomplishments.
Mhm. And she was a teacher. I mean, so obviously, getting your education obviously was so important to her too. I mean, as it is with all, most parents, we want the best for our kids. And what I love though is how you were able to, you go from that $37,500 check for the CFL, and then
to
you
the
go.
minimum. So I got the rookie minimum 1994, which was $108,000.
Can you even? And that's bank back then. Think about that. Did you just go?
Well, I was
Whoa!
22 years old making. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but $8,000 a month was a lot of money for a 22-year-old kid.
Oh heck yeah!
Especially when it was getting truncated into 4 months. So,
Mm-hmm. Oh no,
seeing that kind of money was really, really good for me
that
at
was
22.
So now I'm talking about that kind of money. I mean, because that was league minimum. If we look at football then and we look at it now?
Well, Warren Moon was the highest paid quarterback. 1994, he made $1 million a year.
1994. And now and now Griff. Now that seems like it's chump change. That's chump change now.
They're making $28, $30 million a year now. 27, 28.
All right. Well, what about Cousins? What's he? 84 million.
Yeah, over 3 years.
Guaranteed?
So
Yeah.
You divide that by 3, what do you get? Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just like, but when all things are equal, if you knew then what you know now, like that league minimum, are there things that you would have done differently, that you would go out and you would tell people? Because now think about that. You retired in 2008. So when you think about retirement, this is, I always go to this.
Well,
what would you have done differently?
We always talk about vehicles and we talk about money a lot. We talk about insurance and annuities, and I'm always, I have my insurance license. I always talk about protecting what's the word I want to use? Your legacy. When I say your legacy, just not so much like all right, I'm Robert Griffith, I got kids, blah, blah, blah. No, it's your time. Like, everybody's got their time on this planet. The human life, the human value of life, right?
Right.
And I think that's always should, there's always a quantified number there that everybody should benefit on that's living, if they're smart. And that's where insurance comes into play. But we don't need to get deep in the weeds.
No.
I mean, I just think that I like the fact that people look at their time, not just say it in cliche quotes, but look at their time as actual currency. So, meaning that if I spend 3, 4, 4 or 5 years on a project or a business with Kathy Gumbiner, and we're making $5 million, $10 million a year. It took us 5 years to get there, but we got all this time in it, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? We're done working this hard, and we're going to sell it.
Right.
Well, whatever we're going to sell it for, maybe we get a multiple, maybe we don't. Whatever it is, but we're going to get paid for our efforts and time, and we made some money along the way. Okay, great. Well, in saying that, I wish I could have just talked to my 22-year-old self about that lesson, knowing that 26 years later, I would be looking at my life insurance, my annuity, and some of the other things that, thank God, that we were able to fight for, that have been put in place. And I kind of look at those things like, if I could go back, I would just have done a lot more of what I really hold on to and covet now. So I would have built a bigger boat, as opposed to, when I use the word boat, meaning that, there's 40 days of rain, like, what am I in?
Right.
Am I in a small boat or am I in a big boat? Well, I would have built a lot larger boat, because from that boat, being as large as I would have built it, I could have actually not only put a lot of people in it, but I could have put a lot of people in it and teach seminars, taught them how to build bigger boats too.
And that's part of that's your legacy. Being able to do that.
And that's the true legacy, because, the thing that hit me, and then I'll stop, because, you and I, we talk about all this kind of stuff, but,
right.
With this shutdown, it just opened my eyes another time again, where, people can't miss one check, man.
No.
That second check, the whole shit is about to shut down. We literally have a whole infrastructure about to shut down we got to day 35, 36, or whatever. Day 42, 3, 4, the whole thing is going to shut down. Airlines, transit, FDA, where food is unsafe, like, whole thing shutting down, because
isn't that a sad state of affairs?
Yeah, but
that's where the majority of Americans are. They're one paycheck away from losing everything.
Yeah, it really exasperated the fact that you can't ask every American family for $300, $400. You just don't have it. There's no surplus, and so that's when I go back. That's how I like to put it. I would have just built a bigger boat, and still been the same person. Like, obviously I'm an entrepreneur. I'm invested in several companies. I got a backpack company, gaming, and you name it, right? There's a few things, real estate still, data, But all those are coming off the fact that the boat was big enough for me to be able to do that.
Okay, well, let's talk about your boat real quick. Your foundation. I mean, that I think right there is a very large boat that you've built. If you want to tell everybody, because what you've done with that and what you're going to continue to do with that going forward, I mean, why, first of all, why did you start the Robert Griffith Foundation? When? And what have you done so far?
Yeah, well, I started it mainly just out of the want to provide money to young men and women that, would be in the same position that I was in. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was strictly about money, and, you have to get, in businesses, you get paid for your time. So I spend my time, my efforts, not getting any rest my first couple of years of college just to pay for school. And I'm glad I did it that way because I didn't have any school debt. But then the flip side is you take out all this money in loans that you're going to end up getting choked by trying to take care of anyway.
Right.
So I decided that if I, when I made it, that was going to be my cause, was to put 1,000 kids through school. So
right.
Put a little dent in. I know it's like you got to set a number out there because in 100, it's not really lofty enough. I know I'm going to get to 100. I want to get to a good number.
Right.
And so
I think 1,000 is a good
graduates. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
36 full scholarship graduates now, and a lot of people that have been all over the country. So University of Minnesota, Stanford, San Diego State, Xavier, West Point, Hamlin University, Arizona, USD. Where else? I know I'm forgetting a few, but
you've made. I mean, that's
yeah.
your legacy too. That's not only is that your boat. That's your legacy. I mean, these kids, their lives are forever changed, and their families because of what you've done. Because it's not just football; it's everything else. Everything else that you're doing.
Yeah.
Your backpack company. Tell everybody real quick where they can go to get those. I mean, and I'm going to put everything out there on all of our social media and everything from the F word. But just a brief description of that, because we're going to get some people getting those bags even more, because it's a hit. You guys will love it.
Yeah. So my company, so I created Zook's bag with my partner Steve Kim. And just with the premise of raising scholarship dollars for my scholarship program.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have the, RGF Foundation, Robert Griffith Foundation. Our main purpose is to put kids through school, have some younger grade initiatives and programs that we've done. We partner with the Vikings on the Vikings Challenge, and that program has been running for 20-some years, but we're still doing that. But our primary focus is to raise money, put kids through school, and we're talking about books, tuitions, full ride scholarships. And so, in saying that, that's well, I guess let me back up. So doing that, I used to. When I was a player, I had golf tournaments, and, comedy shows, and block parties, and had a lot of really incredible slam dunk contests, celebrity basketball games, bowling tournaments. I've had a bunch of different events, and those events did well for me. But as a retired player, it's hard to kind of keep up on everybody's schedule. And my friends are retired now, and so a lot of the opportunity to have a really good golf tournament kind of are.
Right.
They're still there.
And there's so many of them, though, too, now. There's so many.
The events don't really match what you're putting in to do them. So I decided to start Zooks strictly run a business that the revenues would go strictly to my scholarship program. So
Done.
on the backpack company called Zooks, you can go to our Instagram.
XOOX.
Yeah, XOOX, like Xerox. So it's Zooks.
Or kiss,
You
hug,
can go
hug,
to-
kiss.
Yeah, you can go to Zooks Bag. That's our Instagram hook, or you can go to ZooksBag.com.
Go online and
check
order.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have a nylon leather. We have a paper backpack. And,
That's so cool. I need to get some more.
yeah.
But all right,
We also have.
we have
Yeah,
one minute, Griff.
I kind of,
We have 1 minute.
One sec. I also have, leaning on my nerdy side, with my engineering degree, we patented our magnetic clip for our bag, so we do have a little bit of IP. So we have our own Bluetooth speakers, which is great too. So when you go on there, you can kind of check it out and see how it all works together.
I love it. And I'm going to tell everybody right now, don't have your Zooks bag sitting down with a strap with the magnetic side and put your laptop on it because, yeah, I learned that the hard way. But I was able to save it. It's really quick. I guess magnets and laptops shouldn't touch.
Hey, wake up.
But we've got, so like I said, we've got 1 minute left. Here's what I want to know from you. You're headed to Atlanta tomorrow. Who's your pick?
Who I want to win? No, I think the Rams. Look, it's kind of hard to bet against Brady, but I think the Rams. I think it's their time if they can get off the field on third down, which is kind of really hard to do against the Patriots. But
Yep.
I'm picking the Rams. It'll be tough to beat the Patriots, but I'm picking the Rams.
All right. Well, that's who I wanted to pick too, but because I have to bet against you because this is something that we've done, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do the cigar and the scotch bet again, like I did.
Okay.
All right. Are we on? We good?
On.
All right. Everybody, Robert Griffith, I love you, man. I'm so glad.
All right, we gotta go.
We got yelled at by the producer. But Griff, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a good night.
Well, Kathy.
Yeah, 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 yeah.